I want Whitney to sleep better at night.
Finally.
I want her family to sleep better at night.
More than 3 months later,
I think it's the 1 yard line.
investigators are one step away.
You know, it's a good feeling.
From bringing a family closure.
We want to bring closure. We want to bring answers.
It's a case that has spanned the globe.
I was in Spain, and people there knew.
And touched many hearts.
I truly hope that the legacy of the girls' lives lives in everyone's heart forever.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, you know, when one mom cries, we all cry.
Sorry, this is really emotional.
Those girls were her whole world.
Remains found near Leavenworth
We will get through this,
are believed to belong to a father
but we will never forget this.
accused of killing his own daughters.
Hopefully now, once he is identified, we never have to say his name again.
Investigators need one more piece of evidence to close the case on Travis Decker. Right now, they're waiting for remains discovered west of Leavenworth this week to be identified. More bones were found today in steep terrain less than a mile from where Decker is accused of killing his 3 daughters. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia were found dead 4 months ago. They're believed to have died by asphyxiation. This is King 5 News at 11. I'm Greg Copeland. King 5's Jim Nelson reports from Wenatchee tonight with details on why investigators are so confident those remains are Decker's.
They found clothing which matches what he was wearing before he disappeared. They also found some personal items that they're pretty sure belonged to Decker. The work in the North Cascades appears to be winding down for good.
We're not going to pat ourselves in the back yet. We're not going to say congratulations until we get the results back. We know 100% this is Travis Decker. That is our suspect. That is our only suspect.
Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison said a drone captured images of a shirt near Leavenworth on Thursday. Law enforcement officers moved in for a closer look.
I think it's the 1 yard line. I mean, we want to get across the goal line with the DNA, but we're pretty, you know, it's a good feeling.
They found remains near that shirt, shorts too, and chewing tobacco, a bracelet, all consistent with Decker's known personal belongings. The remains were decomposed, likely there for a while, less than a mile from where Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn's bodies were found in June. This whole time, investigators were so close, yet so far away.
The terrain is extremely complex, some of which would, you know, is hard to find anywhere in this country, and that's kind of what we found. I mean, it's incredibly steep, it's incredibly rocky.
On Friday, more body parts were found. All of the remains and personal items are being tested by the Washington State Patrol. It's not official, but Sheriff Morrison believes this dark saga is almost over for the family of those little girls, especially their mom, Whitney.
And we're trying to bring them peace of mind and closure for this. We think we're one step closer. I want Whitney to sleep better at night. I want her family to sleep better at night. I want the community to know that our agency does not give up, no matter how daunting and how challenging the task is.
Morrison has asked the State Patrol to expedite the DNA testing, but he also said he didn't want to put extra pressure on them because at the end of the day, getting it right is what's most important. In Wenatchee, Jim Nelson, King 5 News.
As we mentioned, this case goes back months. Let's walk through the timeline together.
This case started back on Friday, May 30th. Travis Decker had a scheduled visitation with Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, which was part of the parenting plan he had with the girls' mother. The next day, when the girls didn't return, she called authorities, and an endangered missing person alert was sent out. On Monday, June 2nd, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office found Decker's truck near the Rock Island campground about 17 miles west of Leavenworth, and the girls' bodies were found nearby. A massive manhunt was then launched. Because of his survival skills, authorities believed he could live in the woods for months. Just days later, on June 10th, hikers reported seeing a man who looked like Decker near Kolchuk Lake. Soon after that, hiking trails were closed. People were asked to check their cabins, and the National Guard joined the search along with other national agencies. Tips came in from across the country of possible sightings, including one on July 5th in Idaho's Sawtooth National Forest. That ended up being a hiker who looked like Decker. At the end of July, the Chelan County Sheriff had to scale back on that search because of the rising costs. That brings us to this week, where the remains believed to be Decker were found near where the girls were found more than 4 months ago.
As we await those DNA results, a mother and a community are hoping for some closure, and that is something King 5 law enforcement analyst and former King County Sheriff John Urquhart agrees with.
Hopefully now, once he is identified, we never have to say his name again. It's done, it's over, and forget about it.
So we know the Chelan County Sheriff expects to hold a news conference next week. Once those results are in, King 5 will be there. Stay with us for the latest on TV and on the King 5 Plus app. That is free to download. Tacoma police are investigating the death of a 12-year-old boy as suspicious. Officers found that child unresponsive near South Lawrence Street and South 40th this afternoon. Investigators say there were no witnesses, no obvious injuries. The Pierce County Medical Examiner will determine how that boy died. 4 soldiers are believed to be dead after a JBL and Black Hawk helicopter crashed near Olympia. The U.S. Army says recovery efforts are underway right now. The crash happened Wednesday night in a wooded area about a mile east of Summit Lake, near some power lines. The Army says the cause of the crash is under investigation. We could learn the names of the soldiers as soon as Monday. All 4 suspects in a hate crime attack in Renton are now in custody. The final suspect turned himself into police. A transgender woman says she was assaulted at the Renton Transit Center earlier this week. Nikki Anderson says the group was harassing people Monday night. When she asked them to stop, she says 3 teenagers and a man beat her and shouted homophobic slurs.
They took me to the ground and they held me by my neck and choked me while they were stomping on me. And they were taking turns punching me in the face.
A 25-year-old suspect is being held in jail tonight. All 3 teens were released on home monitoring. Bullet holes at the ABC affiliate TV station in Sacramento, California. A gunman fired several rounds through a window today. KXTV says all of its employees are safe. Nobody's been arrested. This comes after ABC and Nexstar stations indefinitely suspended the Jimmy Kimmel Show because of some controversial comments about the suspect arrested for shooting Charlie Kirk. The Sacramento station is not owned by ABC, but is an ABC affiliate. About 100,000 people are expected in Arizona this weekend to attend a memorial service for Kirk that's scheduled for Sunday. Security will be high. President Trump, Vice President Vance, and several members of the administration are expected to attend. That service begins at 11 a.m. and you can watch it live on our streaming app, King 5 Plus, for free. Tonight, the King 5 investigators expose healthcare facilities are denying Washington patients access to their own medical records, and it's impacting their health, their employment, and legal cases. As Kristen Goodwillie reveals, complaints to the state nearly doubled since 2020. Some patients are waiting months, even years, for records that, by law, should take just 3 weeks.
I think the damage was more me. It was really just physical and emotional.
Last year, another driver rear-ended Elba Quijano as she drove through South Seattle.
My back was tweaked a little bit and it was just causing me a lot of pain.
Elba's attorney needed her medical records from a multi-care facility to file personal injury and insurance claims. Under Washington state law, healthcare providers must hand over your medical records within 15 days or 3 weeks. Elba's request took about 4 months. Initially, she did get a response from Multicare. They claimed she had never been treated there at all.
It was really frustrating because I knew that I had gone. I knew that I went to go get checked up. I knew that I was there. I knew that I wasn't okay.
Without her medical records, Elba's legal case couldn't move forward, delaying the financial help she needs.
It can be very stressful. It can affect your mental health, your well-being. There has been a lot of just holdbacks financially, and it wasn't something that I was prepared for financially to happen.
Elba isn't alone. King 5 obtained data from the Department of Health showing in the last 4 years, complaints about obtaining medical records almost doubled, from 59 in 2020 to 112 in 2024. If this year stays on pace, the state should expect 2025 to be the worst yet, at 135 complaints filed.
Accessing your medical records is a right. It's something that you should be able to do.
These complaints revealed devastating consequences, like the state denying workers' compensation claims, job termination, and delayed medical care. One patient told the state the medical facility was holding medical records ransom. The desperation is clear. Patients saying they've exhausted all means, trying to get records about their own health.
It's information about myself. It's information about my health.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2019.
The financial burden can be just as devastating. Linda O'Brien from Pierce County Attorney tried to get her cancer treatment records after being fired for requesting to work from home. Multicare said she had to cough up $2,200 to get that information, more than the cost of her mortgage. Faced with no job or medical insurance, Linda couldn't afford it.
Don't lose faith and stand up for yourself because you're worth it.
Linda eventually got her records, but the process took time she didn't have. Shortly after winning a $3 million jury verdict for workplace discrimination, she died. In a statement to King 5, Multicare said part of its mission is to ensure patients have access to their medical records in a timely and efficient manner. It's important to note the lawsuits and increase in health record complaints suggest this problem extends beyond individual facilities.
And not having those records easily available be catastrophic.
Plaintiff attorney Nick Leppery argued 2 cases, including Elba's, in front of a judge.
For clients, we recently paid a bill for over $900 for a copy of a client's medical records. And we can't move their case forward without it. We're filing lawsuits against hospitals for records that they should be just getting to us.
Leppery argued Multicare and Swedish Health Services were breaking state law and in doing so causing harm to people like Elba. The judge agreed and ordered the health systems not only to provide the records but pay fees associated with them.
But I'd like to see that system improve because, like I said, it doesn't just affect me. It affects everybody. It affects continuity of care. I mean, it is a systemic issue that I think, unfortunately, we need to address.
I do think that this can get resolved, and I hope that things can get better from this and that it doesn't have to continue happening to other people.
So what do the hospital systems have to say? In a hearing earlier this year in Olympia, Multicare said they're overwhelmed. They had more than 10,000 medical records requests in 2024. But patients say that doesn't cut it. The law is the law, and obtaining these medical records is a matter that's impacting their lives. In the newsroom, I'm Kristen Goodwillie, King 5 News.
Oh, we've got some rainfall coming and some gusty winds and then cooler temperatures. We'll take a look at the latest timing on it all coming up.
Also ahead, the Salish Sea has a new member, what we know about the baby orca swimming in our waters. And a Friday night in the fall can only mean one thing. Chris Egan is at our big game. We go under the stadium lights, still ahead in sports.